Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all had a fantastic week. We will be going over the full in-depth overview of the sports watch. There's going to be a lot to cover, so I'm going to list timestamps in the description of the video that will direct you to each portion of the video. So first, what I want to cover is the obvious thing. We're going to be doing two different watch options. So we have the automatic variant and the Quartz variant. As far as the construction goes, they are identical. As you can see here, this case here on the left is actually gunmetal. This one's black. Both are DLC though. So we're going to have these options here you can see on the left. These are all Quartz variants. These are automatic. The difference in movements will be the automatic variant will be housing the SW200. And let me wake this one up here for you. So SW200, signature clean sweep. And then the Quartz variants will have the Ronda 4210-B. And the biggest difference you'll be seeing there is the small subdial for the second time zone. And I will be going over that as well later in the video. First, let's get into the dimensions. So I have here, this is a little piece of history. This was my dad's first purchase actually into the watch world. He bought this when he was 16 in Switzerland. As you can see, they spelt his name wrong. But these are his trusty calipers. I always loved playing with these as a kid. My dad did not love that, but what can you do as a parent? So this all black case here, the straps as they are now, actually the spring bars won't go in. So those are coming in next week. We'll have those in time to reviewers. For this video, the straps are display only. So first, let's get a measurement of the diameter. So on the case, we have 41. Lug to lug. Now with this one, you have to add 10 millimeters because that's about how much these are. So here you have 12, and I'm going off the, if you can see here on the video, I'm going off the 0. So here you have 12, add 10, 22 millimeters. Lug to lug, we have just under 47, about 47 millimeters. And then the thickness, we have 12, just under 12 millimeters. So those are the dimensions for you. As far as the sports and auto variants are concerned, the dimensions will be exactly the same. There will be no difference there. Okay, now let's go over the case construction. So I'm going to compare the DLC and the stainless here. Both are 316L stainless steel. Obviously, the DLC doesn't have any brushing on it. It is all sandblasted, which makes it virtually fingerprint proof, which is really nice if you have kids like me. But the construction otherwise is exactly the same. And it is DLC, it is not PVD, it is DLC. On the stainless version, we have nice brushing and polishing. The bezel is polished, plays with the light really well. And then on the sides here, you have brushing that run horizontal along the case, as well as down the lugs. I'll see if I can focus in closer there. I'll be throwing up macro shots of this as well so you can get a better idea. The chamfered edges on the lugs are polished. And I've had some concerns from people that the polishing will get pretty beat up. And let me show you how well it holds up, because we're not going to be doing any kind of scratch resistant coating. This is the sample I've been wearing. I've been wearing this thing since I got it, so for months now. I have put this thing through the ringer. I poured cement with it. I've taken out my garbage run. I have crawled on my stomach underneath our chicken coop to try and get some rogue egg laying chickens. It is holding up really well. Really, when it comes to scratches, there are some scratches, but the quality of the finishing does a lot to hide scratches. It's not all about the coating. the quality of the finish really will make the watch look good for a very long time. So I'm going to put that back on my wrist. And the crystal, it is slightly domed. We're going to call it flat. You can see a little distortion there. There will be AR coating on it, at least 5 layers of AR coating on the crystal. Now I'll show off the case back. This is the first. I've shown the case back. I'll get into these straps later in the video. Again, timestamps in the description. Let me take the plastic off so you can see it better. These case backs will not be stamped like the diver. And we're getting a lot of reflection there, so maybe it's better I show you on the DLC. So as you can see, we have the pattern that mimics the pattern on the dial, and these will have screws. It will not be a screw down case back, and you can see there it is 100 meters of water resistance. The automatics will probably be rated at around 150 because they have the screw down crown, but we're going to be safe and stick with the 100 meter water resistance on the case back. And I will show you the difference of how those crowns work right now. As you can see, screw down, pop it out. There you go. Screw it back in. And then on the Quartz, obviously much easier. You just pop it out and it is good to go. Pop it back in. Now, while I am on the topic of the Quartz case, as you can see here, there is that small button. I'll throw up a little example of what happens when you push that button. If you push it once, let me get one where the hands aren't in the way of the subdial. If you push it once, it forwards the subdial hands a minute. If you hold it for about 3 seconds, it will forward the subdial an hour. If you hold it down, it just runs. So really simple to use. I use just a small pin to push in there, and that does the trick really well. Now I want to get into the dial construction. So this is one of the highlights of the piece. So as you can see here, you get this nice reflection off of the raised index markers, and almost like a gold, a hint of gold in there when you mark it, when you reflect it off the light. So this ring here is actually solid ceramic. So the index markers, the ring, that is one piece of ceramic. So you have the recessed portion of the ceramic has a matte finish, and then the raised portion, the index markers that are raised off the dial, those have a polished surface, and that's what gives it its reflection. And I'll show some more macro shots of that in action here as well, because it's really cool to see, and it really elevates the design. So here you can see kind of that almost gold reflection off the raised markers. This raised marker alone is why it took us so long to develop this. This ceramic we had made from scratch. It's something that, as far as we know, has never been done. The raised portion of the ceramic markers are hollowed out, and they are full of super luminova. So as far as we know, it's never been done before to have a solid ceramic ring and have the index markers incorporated into that ring and used to house superluminova. So this is why it took so long. We designed this. My dad designed this from the ground up. We really wanted to make it our own, and we're really happy with how they turned out. The center portion of the dial is a textured circle. It is stamped, and it is just a pattern to kind of give it a sporty look. As you can see on the Quartz dial, obviously there's the subdial. Here on the auto, you don't have that. And one thing that people weren't a huge fan of on the diver, at least in the last campaign, was the company name on the dial. So on this one, you really can't see it very well at all. Let's see if you can see it on the salmon. The company name is there. It's just very discreet. It's actually etched into the dial. So in person, you can see it. You can see it pretty well if you're looking for it, but it's actually etched into the dial. So it's still there. We still feel that it's balanced because we didn't want to take it off, but also we understand people's concerns with the name on the dial, and we wanted to kind of get the two birds with one stone, make that group happy as well as keep the name on there, because we've got to have our company name on the dial, and we're really happy with how that turned out as well. And then of course you have our logo, which is applied, and that is reflective as well. When you have it all the way in the light, it's kind of a solid steel color. When you take it out, you can see the logo there, get a little bit more contrast into it, and you can see it a little bit better. Now, let's get into everybody's favorite, or one of everybody's favorite aspects of the diver, the loom. These will not be to the level of the diver, but they will still be pretty impressive. Let me turn off some of these lights. Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of doing the loom shots in complete darkness, because just about any watch will glow fantastic in complete darkness. So we're going to have some different options. Let me hit this with a light real quick. So this one here will be green, and I want to show you these will have 8 layers within the index markers, so they'll still glow really well. They'll be impressive. Right now, these hands, they're sample hands. The hands aren't going to glow that well, so take note of that when they're out for review. The index markers, they're, with the exception of the black pieces, these, I believe, we're going to change over to BGW9. Right now, they're similar to the black diver currently. They appear white, glow green. BGW9 will be an upgrade. They will glow blue and still appear white in the daylight. This black one will glow green. So right now, the only options we'll have are green glowing, green, and green glowing. This will be similar to the diver, the same Lume application. Then we will have the blue. This is another one that is getting switched over to BGW9, so it won't appear that pastel blue. And again, you can see the hands, these sample hands there. Not much to write home about, but they'll be better on the production version. So you'll get a better idea of what those will be. But here you can see the index markers. They will glow, they will be impressive, but I mean, just to give you a comparison, here's the sport watch. This is my dad's diver. I mean, I haven't even hit it with the light yet. It's glowing pretty well. And I mean, the difference, it's significant. Again, 8 layers, 20 layers. With that, one thing we will confidently go up against anyone on is our diver loom, with the exception of the black pieces, which don't glow as well as the blue and green. I actually have my green model right here. I'll show you a difference. So here's my green diver. Let me show you next to the green quartz that we'll be having, so you can get a direct comparison there. So it glows well. They glow really well. They'll still beat, I would say, quite a few divers out there. But again, it's a sports watch. Lume wasn't central to the actual function of the watch like it is in a diver. So it wasn't one of our main focuses. It will be something, it will still be a highlight. It just won't be the highlight of the watch. But it will still be very functional, and it will still be something that many of you will be happy with. I'll show you a loom shot on the wrist on mine. So You'll be happy with it. It's something we're happy with. But for those of you thinking that it's going to compare to your divers, it simply won't. But again, these aren't divers. I would be disappointed if our sports watch had better lume than our divers did with the 20 layers of application. So it'll still be impressive, still be something to look at. It'll make really cool lume shots as well with the unique index marker layout. And while I'm on the topic, the index marker layout was actually inspired by my dad. He's really into cars, and he loved how cars will take headlight designs, and make those unique. And with watches, there's not much that has been changed with the index marker design. So we wanted to take that same application, and since it's going to be a more sporty watch, kind of use that inspiration to design the index markers on these. So let's get the lights back on, and now we can go over the strap options. So first and foremost, we will have 2 straps included with every watch. We have this Velcro strap here, super easy to use. These watches, unlike the diver, you won't need to use a curved spring bar, but because these Velcro points, I'm not sure what they're called, they're a little thick, so they have a hard time sliding through, and they catch because they're individually ridged. So I have a curved spring bar on these, but that won't be necessary for other straps. But fold down, I'll actually show you how you put them on with my favorite, the salmon dial. So really easy to use. You can either have it all the way off, slide it on here, really easy to size. They look great, and they are very secure, aside from what I initially thought when I heard about these. And they're really comfortable, breathe really well, and you get some unique color combinations. So here you get the darker portion of the strap accented by the lighter salmon, which goes in line with the dial. So these are really fun, really easy to change out, put on, and we'll also have, of course, the silicone strap. I have one on mine. This one we kind of jerry-rigged to get on with the spring bars. Again, we will have these sent out with the review units next week, and we will have this as the clasp. Really comfortable clasp, something that, again, I've been wearing for months now, and really easy to adjust. So this option, as well as the nylon Velcro, will be included with every single watch. One thing we didn't have with the diver, one of the most significant portions of the cost of a watch is the bracelet. So the bracelet on the diver was included with every purchase, and the bracelet on the sports watch is even more expensive than the diver due to the finishing and construction. So the bracelet will be an add-on. If you want to buy it, you can. We'll have it available on our site after the campaign when we deliver. One good thing is, so if for those of you who have the diver, you recognize this clasp, and yes, it is the same clasp on the diver. One of the negatives that we've received about this clasp is how big it is. So what we will be doing for the sports watch, this is a 41 millimeter watch. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have a watch where the clasp is about as big or bigger than the watch. So this will be downsized significantly. We will be getting a smaller clasp. Again, with these bracelets being available at the point of shipment after the campaign through our site, for those who want it, we will be doing a full review of the clasp as well, so you know exactly what you're getting, and you won't have to worry about putting money down for a clasp at the point of the campaign and then having changes that you're not happy with down the road. So this will be changed. It won't be so big. So those of you who were looking forward to a smaller watch, you don't have to worry about having a larger clasp that's not gonna be comfortable on your wrist. So it works on mine. I have about 7¼ inch wrist. This is how it looks on mine. Fits really well. Another big advantage that this clasp will have is it has quick release and links. So this can be changed out in no time. So for those of you who wish to buy a Quartz variant as well as an automatic variant, and here I'll clear these out so you can see how easy it is to put the clasp on. You will be happy to know that one bracelet will cover the watches you have, and it's really easy too, because it's really easy to change out. So you have the one side there. I like to go underneath here, and it just slides in, and you are good to go. So if you happen to want to buy a Quartz and an automatic, one bracelet will cover both, because it's really easy to change out. That's something really excited about, and it's something we hope to bring to all future models, even outside of the sports watch. Now, for the moment you have all been waiting for, the price and the release date. We will have the Quartz models. We have the mint, the salmon, the blue, and the gray, and it's almost like a cream color with the gunmetal. The Quartz models will be going for $269 on Kickstarter at pre-order. For any cases that are DLC plated, any plated cases, just add $20 to that price. That's what they will be. For the bracelets, we do not have any DLC coated bracelets on hand as of now, but those will be priced differently as well, depending on whether they are coated or not, because the DLC is it's a decent upcharge in the manufacturing process. So those will be priced accordingly. We're debating on whether to have these available at Kickstarter or not, or on our website later, depending on if we can get a full kit of the new clasp or not. That will happen, but that will definitely be something you can be sure of at the point of the campaign, so there won't be any wondering at that point. For the automatics, we have the burgundy, the blue, the all black, and I don't have it on me right now, but the swamp green. Currently we have that in a DLC case. We will be offering the black and the swamp green in either DLC or stainless options, so no worries there. I just don't have an all black piece in a stainless case right now to showcase. These will be listed at $389 at Kickstarter. So really the only difference in price here between the automatic and the Quartz variant is the movement. The movement's significantly more for the SW200, but again, this isn't, it's not a cheap Quartz movement. It's a good movement. Another difference in the price, if we're being completely transparent, is the after-sale service on the Quartz models will be essentially non-existent. As all of you know, automatic movements, there's just a lot more points of failure, and regardless of whether the failure rate is at 1% at around 3 to 5 years, that's still a price that we need to factor in, because shipping costs and repair things, that all adds up over time. Now for the release date, we will be releasing these on Kickstarter on August 10th. So that will be the date. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter. We'll be notifying through there, as well as signing up here on YouTube, subscribing to our channel. We'll keep you updated through email, YouTube, our Instagram, Facebook page. We'll definitely keep you within the loop, as well as we'll be getting all the pertinent information out to those who will be reviewing our pieces. I mentioned this briefly on our social media pages, and a little bit, we hinted at it a little bit in the other video, but due to all the delays that we've had with these releases, these will be able to deliver very quickly. We're already underway with a lot of the manufacturing for these. For example, the ceramic rings are essentially going to be done by the end of the campaign. We've ordered the movements, and that segues into another point. We will be capping the pre-order amount of the automatics at 200 units. Whether we reach that or not, I don't know. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. What's important is that's how many movements we have available right now that we can for sure manufacture and deliver in a very timely manner. We will be making more automatic sport models, but those will come. Maybe we'll be able to acquire enough movements to where we can have them available at the point of shipping the Kickstarter pre-orders. But to play it safe, we're capping it at 200. That's how many will be available on Kickstarter at that price. Once those are sold, they're sold. Again, we'll have more in the future. It's just until we have a solid timeline and we can guarantee a timely delivery, we're not gonna sell 250 and then have 50 people end up waiting for a month or so longer than everyone else. That's just not something we're gonna do. So keep that in mind. They will be capped. The Quartz models will not be capped. Quartz movements, fairly easy to get a hold of, no issues there. So that won't be a problem with the Quartz variants. But these automatic movements, they will be capped. There will only be 200 available on Kickstarter. Once they are gone, they are gone. Until we can be sure that we can acquire more. Maybe we'll open up pre-orders at a slightly higher price in between the shipment time on our website, if we can be sure that we'll be able to have an exact shipping date. But until that point, 200 is what will be available. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this overview. Thank you so much for watching. It's a little bit of a longer one, and we are really excited for this release. We look forward to sending these out for review, getting a third opinion, and we will see you guys all next week. Just jump rope slowly.
Josh, I can't jump rope slowly.
Well, then just jump rope.